right, guys, we are back. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast, episode 340, with returning champion Janelle Draper.
Hey.
You're back.
I love being back. I'm so happy.
You love being back?
I'm happy to get a dose of you because it's like I'm back in town.
Yeah, once every 6 months is about the right amount of time to see me. That's
Wait,
how
is
often
that
I should
really
be.
how far away last it was?
It had to have been because we were in the old studio.
Oh, I felt like just yesterday.
I looked it up because I want to see, what did we talk about? Because I remember you talking about balls. which was great.
I'm still talking about balls.
I know, it never ends with you. You and balls. That clip might be one of my most shared clips, by the way.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It's fucking hilarious.
Thank you. I kind of finished this like bit about balls and I put it on Facebook Reels and it got like 2 million views. And I'm like new to the Facebook Reels, but it's like didn't realize how much of that was being shared. It's kind of does it not like just go direct from Instagram to Facebook Reels? I have no idea. Oh, so yeah, that's exactly what happened. Is I posted on Instagram, but I allowed it to go to Facebook. But I didn't realize Facebook Reels. It's like having such a moment right now. Like Facebook is coming.
I know.
Back.
Well, I got to get back on it because Maddie Chimbor is telling me about it. I delinked my Instagram from my Facebook because my grandmother follows me, but I have an Facebook that she doesn't follow. That's like for comedy. So I linked it to that, but I don't know if that helped. And I also don't know how to switch it back. There's a lot of shit I don't know about social media, considering how much fucking time I spend on it.
It's complicated. They like don't make it easy. I feel like, and even when you get like the payouts, like everything's very complicated as well. Like in terms of what you're eligible for, because you have a big following on Instagram, so I'm sure do you get the creator bonuses?
I do get the creator bonuses, but
great.
I'm not eligible right now because I'm in trouble again. Again. And this time it wasn't even my fault. It was legitimately, I think the AI bot screwed up. But the unfortunate thing is I can't get, for whatever reason, my account, like my app won't let me get to like that creator help section to like send, apparently you can message like customer service and they'll get back to you. And I can't get to
try on your computer.
And I think that's what I
You got it because like that sucks.
Well, because I don't want I want them, obviously, it said I was blocked until the end of February. But, so I can't collaborate, I can't get paid.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. That sucks.
Yeah,
but like
it sucks.
your stuff is so good that
I know.
I'm like, it's edgy, so I feel like I get why they're like, oh no. But I thought that was more on TikTok than Instagram, but I guess it's all
I was just talking to my buddy who's not a comic because I sent him a video of a guy getting shot in the head. That's on Instagram. Okay. They didn't have a problem with that. The guy's fucking head exploded, and that video's fine. He's like, "How is this on there?" And you're like shadow banned right now. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think they're going after comedians and OnlyFans girls because OnlyFans they're really fucking sticking it to chicks with OnlyFans pages. Like if you have a link in your bio to an OnlyFans, they block you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sucks. I like how you said Indian style.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know why. I just learned I had some Native American culture today.
Yeah. I guess I can't say Indian style anymore. It's got to be crisscross applesauce, right?
You could say it if you want. I just sit like this because it's more comfortable. But I did learn that I have like 6% Native American in me.
Okay, more than
that's from last night.
Than what's her name? Fucking that chick up in Boston, the senator. Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, I love Elizabeth Warren, but she fucked up. But I do love her. This is good wine. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, we got Jello shots.
Oh yeah, let's do a little Jello.
I came here with a ton of fucking liquor. So our producer, finally, we got a producer who listens to me. I ask every producer at Third Wheel if they want to drink when I'm on the podcast and buy beers. And finally, my man Jeff fucking took it.
I drink. Yeah.
Thank God.
I do.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah,
cheers,
Jeff.
guys.
Jeff
Cheers
and
to you.
Randy,
Just
cheers.
work with you again, brother.
Yeah.
These are
this is little Jello shots. I guess Jeff said somebody left them here, so they're ours now.
Yeah, we had somebody in here the other day,
Cheers.
the Jello shots was a sponsor for their podcast, and it's like, cool.
Shit. Man, I'm splooging all over the place.
Oh man, they're boozy.
Are they?
They're good.
Holy,
13% alcohol in those.
Yeah.
13? Okay.
13.
I'm just going to lick it because I'm going to give it a nice little
do it slowly. I might get more fucking likes on Instagram.
I'm going to do a nice little rim job on the Jello
I was in high
shot.
school again.
Where should I focus the rim job? What camera angle?
You got to squeeze the balls.
Okay, I do love ball.
Right off the top, we're right back to the
ball rant. Well, I figured out why I like them. I feel like they're so like on an emotional level, they're really empathic. Whereas the penis is a narcissist because the penis takes all the credit, the balls do all the work. Your balls produce 1,500 sperm per second.
I can see that. Yeah, you could.
They're doing God's work.
For reproduction, your balls are far more important than your penis. If you have balls, they can extract semen from you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a dick.
Yes.
So they do all the heavy lifting, but they get none of the credit.
That's what I'm saying. They're hustling in the background. It's kind of like they're the Amazon workers.
They're the Mexicans of my fucking jockeys.
Yeah. And then the penis is Jeff Bezos.
And my dick is the white guy.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I'm telling you. And the balls are doing God's work. That's why they look so tired and wrinkly.
I'll tell you, they are the funniest. I mean, look, a dick is funny because it's a weird appendage with no bone in it. It's like a weird sponge. But balls are definitely funny.
They're fun.
From a comedic perspective, like the ball bag is hilarious.
Yeah, I also just love when they, I love when the ball bag gets tight. And I love when, I love to like loosen it up, like a fun adventure.
You must love guys in the fucking winter then. Nuts are in my throat.
Wait, what do you mean a winter? Like,
because in the summertime.
Oh, in the winter.
Yeah, in the summertime, you're not sad because of the heat. Basically,
Right.
your balls. I think your balls like stay at like 92 degrees as opposed to your body at 98. So in the summer,
You know
they
it.
hang farther.
Yeah, they're
and then in
fun.
the winter, they get cut up towards your body.
And how cool is that? I feel like that's also kind of girly. They're just like, hey guys, it's a little chilly. You want to go upstairs? Like,
You want to tuck up into his stomach a little bit?
yeah, like let's curl up. Like they're just I like identify with them. I feel like they're underappreciated. Some dick always steals their limelight, and they just want to be held.
They're sensitive, right?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They're sensitive. Cheers to balls. I'm so sipping
Cheers.
this thing.
Yeah,
What is
get to
happening? Wait, you took this whole
We just gotta
shot?
squeeze it and get it in there.
Jeff, let's see your balls. No, just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's off camera. You can show your balls.
I don't know,
If I
I've
pull
just
my
been-
balls out on camera, I'm getting yanked from YouTube for life.
I just feel like I think I love them so much because I also have imagine if I had balls.
It's 2023. I too have nuts.
Yeah, I too have nuts. No, I just think I don't know. I've always thought they were so cool. I don't know why girls like hate on them. Like, ew, balls. I'm like,
I don't know that girls hate on them. And maybe you do because girls talk about this shit more.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're just ignored,
they're ignored and they're kind of like, ew, like hairy, shave the balls. I'm like, just let them be. Like, they're cool.
Yeah, that is probably the most difficult part of maintaining your junk is trying to shave the nuts.
Do you shave the nuts?
I think you got to. I think you trim the base.
I didn't know.
You trim the base and shave the balls.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think that's what I go with anyway. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you shave the whole fucking thing?
I mean, say the whole thing, man.
What about your asshole, Jeff? You shave your asshole?
No. No, it's a jungle in there.
It's a jungle. Go at your own risk.
Yeah, the Amazon jungle.
The Amazon jungle.
My butthole does ayahuasca.
I've never gotten.
What about you? Do you shave your asshole?
I'm
do you
like.
have hair in your asshole?
I mean, I'm sure I do.
Because some girls do, some girls don't. That could be an either or.
I've never looked that closely.
We can feel hair. At least I can feel hair down there.
No, I feel a little peach fuzz. I feel like that's normal, natural.
Okay.
I don't want anything in there besides like a dick and some tongues, Like I don't.
Okay. So you do the anal stuff.
I actually haven't had anal sex in a long time, but I've
What's
been
the holdup?
doing. Gotta get some lube, I think. Gotta get some lube. I
Do a
might.
cleanse?
So
you don't shit the bed?
no, I have this new partner as of like the summer, and he's awesome. And we have
Are you
been,
guys like official, or you just
yeah, we're
seeing where it
official.
goes?
We're official, and I'm
okay.
very happy about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I talked about him on the last episode with you too, and like we've just gotten closer, and things have been
Oh, you must
really
have
good.
just met him then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so first time ever, he's been doing this whole like ass licking, the eating ass.
How old is he?
He's 25.
I mean, the young.
That's a target demo?
Butt, dude.
I'm loving it though.
According to my Instagram page, they love the butt stuff.
I'm loving it. It's new to me, and I'm loving it. I haven't returned the favor though.
Yeah, I don't like my asshole play.
I'm getting hot. I'm taking
Yeah.
this off. I'm like
Go
heating
for it.
up. I probably shouldn't blast like my whole personal life on here because like my boyfriend's grandmother follows me on Instagram and everything. She sees everything.
Yeah, I was just saying, my grandmother follows me on Instagram,
So-
on Facebook, not on Instagram.
But I'd imagine your grandma would be cool because like you come from this like fun,
No,
loving.
she's super Catholic. She wanted to come. I was doing shows in New York over the holidays. I was doing shows at Stand Up New York, and she wanted, like my last show there. My mom comes in the room. She's like, "Hey, what time's your show?" I'm like, "I think 7:30." She's like, "How much are tickets?" I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Why? You want to go?" She's like, "No. Cookie's thinking."
Cookie, I love
That's what
that.
we call her, Cookie.
That's cute.
Cookie wants to go, and I'm like, "No, she can't go." Because I mean, I open up my act talking about fucking priest raping kids, like
Yeah.
So I immediately trash the church. She's
Trigger
gonna
for
hate.
her. So
Yeah.
how does she take
She doesn't like
that?
swearing and all that stuff.
That's tough. So when you hang with her, are you laid back, but just like a more reserved version of you?
Yeah, I don't curse as much.
You don't curse?
From time to time,
Yeah.
but I try not to around her. And obviously, I don't make crazy sexual references around her. But
Yeah.
my immediate family, my mom, my brother and sister,
They're chill.
my niece and nephew, they've all been to shows. I don't care.
How old are your niece and nephew?
Oh, they're all grown now, man. My fucking nephew's what? He's got to be 23.
Wow.
And my niece
That's
is
fun.
19 or 20.
They must think you're the coolest. They
No,
call you
think I'm
Uncle
a
Randy.
fucking loser.
What do you mean?
Actually,
Stop it. What are you talking about?
I don't know what they think
Why
of
would
me.
you say
I know
that?
they love me, but I don't know if they think I'm cool.
Well, if they come here to support you and you have such a cool like brand and following and like
but they're also
life
20-year-olds.
choices.
You know, like I'm going to be 40 this year. So like
Yeah, but you don't-
I'm not
you're a
I'm
young
a generation older. I'm not cool. Like
you're a young 40 and you like do
I'm a
cool
young
things.
40. I'm a fucking immature 40. Let's be let's be accurate here.
See, it's so funny. Isn't it funny how like harder we are on ourselves than like other people see us? Like I look at you, I'm like, you're cool, you're fun, you're funny, you're smart, you're kind. I'm like, you'd be a great uncle. Like, and also you left a really like lucrative, intense job to follow your passion. Wouldn't that be like inspiration?
But that's
then?
the thing. I don't know about other people, but I could say this emphatically about myself. If I wrote all that down on a piece of paper about somebody else, I'm like, oh, that's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But I live inside my head all day, and I know what I think. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
your mind
hard.
plays tricks on you. Like your mind thinks the worst of you.
I know.
Inside voice in my head speaks to me in a way I would never speak to my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like
I do know. It sucks though. Aren't you trying to combat that? I'm working on it.
Of course. I mean, that's
the
since I started going to therapy at 30. I've been.
fuck
It's the kind of thing. Yeah.
Same therapist this whole time?
No. I started out with one guy. I'll say his name, Chris Carter. Young guy was probably a couple years older than me.
Oh,
but then he ended up going to work at the VA to help out soldiers coming back from from the war. So I didn't have a therapist for a couple months, and then I started dating a therapist. And
that's wild.
She was finishing up. She was like finishing up getting her degree, and you know I was just bullshitting with her about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a therapist. And she's like, well, why don't you see mine? He's my because all therapists have to go see a therapist, and he's like some big shot at BU. I was like, you think he'll take me? He's like, yeah, he's a good guy, and great guy, Dr. Panetta. He's the best. He's one that helped me. That like they didn't talk me into it, but helped me rationalize me leaving finance and doing comedy.
But now you're back doing doing consulting.
Yeah, well, I have a it's a one-off gig. I got a deal with my old boss, and look, I'm a broke comedian, so I need the money.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I'll pay you 3 times your salary. I'll pay you 3 months of your old salary for 1 month of work.
That's amazing.
I was like, all right, I'll do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
the work sucks.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah, but you only have to do it for a month.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it right now. So like, this is nice. This is the first time I stepped out of my house since fucking Wednesday.
Oh, I'm so happy to get you out.
Yeah. So this is nice to me. I was fucking just chewing Adderall and sitting there in front of an Excel model like a goddamn monkey. It was awful.
Why all of a sudden, just for a month, like these many years later, he wants you back?
Well, I guess he's working for he's consulting for this company. He's like on their board or something. Yeah, unfortunately, it was kind of wild. Like the first week I started doing it, like the first night, I'm like, oh fuck, I had like a major panic attack. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. So I had to like, take a break and a walk and like get my head together because I was like, this is why I left this. Like,
right.
Just the anxiety of like I got to deliver this and that and all this shit's,
It's a deep dive.
Yeah,
but
getting phone calls from my old boss. I mean, like he's a great guy and he's a good friend of mine.
Triggering.
But getting work, he would check in every couple months and that's great. But to get like work stuff from him and get emails in the middle of the night and shit because he's on the East Coast, I'm like, oh fuck me.
Yeah, and then you always feel like you're behind no matter what time you.
Oh, I'm always behind. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and work after this.
Oh my God, Randy! But this is cool for 3 months though.
It'll help me get through the year for sure.
And also like just nice to have that option in your back pocket that many people can't just go back to. A lot of comics like only did stand up, and doesn't times like this make you grateful that you have that experience? You do
have some skill,
and you always know you have a plan B, like worst case scenario. Like,
I mean,
I mean, like if you get to dire straits where you're like, sweet, I'm gonna have a nice, comfortable lump sum of 3 months for just like 30 days of work. That's like pretty comfortable.
That's the thing. I think that's the big difference too. Like now that I'm doing it, it sucks,
but it's temporary.
But I know that it's going to be done. Like once this thing is done, it's over. Whereas my old job, it was like this day every day for the rest of my life. It was like fuck that. I can't live like this. There was like no end in sight.
Consulting for like what?
So I used to be like an investment banker, private equity guy, doing financial work.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same work, but I'm not an employee of the company, and I'm not working for a investment bank. I'm just working for myself.
Cool. Okay.
So I'm just working from home all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I mean, yeah, it beats driving for Uber.
Right. Well, I was just laid off.
No shit. Congratulations. Welcome to unemployment. People, who was I talking? I was just talking to Matty Chimbor about it because he quit his day job finally over the summer, and he did the same thing. Every now and then he'll pick up a project because he was like a construction manager, but he was like, oh, I was worried, like, what am I going to do with my whole day? Like, I got to, figure out what I'm going to do with all my free time. And I'm like, dude, I never had a problem filling up my free time. I mean,
Me neither.
Like, I don't have any problem having nothing to do.
I need more free time.
Yeah.
Also, I
can't get the shit for this podcast I haven't got, like, to-do list on the podcast I haven't gotten to yet.
Right. I think when you're like a creator artist like us, it's just like, when there's so many opportunities and so many ideas coming at you that like to actually execute, get them off the ground takes so much time and effort.
Yeah.
And so I am
You're also learning a lot too. Like I noticed that about myself. Like I don't know how to do any AV stuff, so I had to teach myself that when I first started the podcast.
Right.
Now I'm like, all right, how do I get smart on YouTube Reels and Facebook
grow
this and
your
that?
fan base, grow your social following, monetize that. That takes time and
build
effort.
a website because I haven't had one from the 6 years I've been doing comedy. I still don't have a website. It's like all this
Get
shit.
booked, new material, good sets, submitting to everything. Like
it's a fucking grind.
It's a grind.
Which sucks because all I want to do is think about the funny stuff and do this podcast, right? I want to do shows, do the podcast, and write new jokes. Those are the three things I want to do. And those are probably the three things I spend the least time doing.
I definitely spend the least amount of time writing as well. I feel like I spend so much time on like the business side of it. And then I'm like, oh, the writing will just happen like beforehand. Or
maybe you can give me some business tips because I'm terrible at the business side of comedy, which is hilarious because I was good at the other real business.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. We should touch base on that after. But like...
And remember, I can't have an OnlyFans, so if that's what you mean by business.
No.
I mean, I guess I could, but no one would fucking watch it.
No. I just mean like business in terms of the tactical planning of like, meeting important bookers and like networking and going to different cities and having a full schedule just based on like, just like building the schedule to like get paid, $1,000 to go headline that spot to go, like just like the business side of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Who am I going to talk to? And that whole side of it, I feel like I've gotten like really razor sharp at where
I could definitely use help with that.
Yeah,
God knows I don't get fucking paid enough for the spots I do.
Yeah, and they don't put themselves out there and they don't realize like all you get to do is ask. Like in this past year, 2022.
I'm bad about that. I'm so bad about asking. I feel like a fucking bum. Yeah.
Don't. I mean, I got so good at putting myself out there. Like I got great opportunities from doing that, and I just kind of shut down the part of me that was like embarrassed to ask for something. Like now I just like throw it out there all the time, and almost everyone says yes. Like you'd be so surprised to see how many people.
I mean, maybe
are
it's
open.
you. No one wants my oafish ass coming in.
I mean, it's just like positive attitude and like how can you help them?
But let's also be honest. There's a lot more opportunities right now because bookers are looking for funny women.
Yeah, no, I trust me, I don't take it for granted.
Even though I'm not white, I come off as white, so it's like, oh, we don't need another white guy. Move over. We need.
Wait, what's your ethnicity?
I'm Dominican.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no one does. They all think I'm Italian.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yeah, which is actually hilarious.
I'm whispering.
I was in Cleveland doing hilarities for New Year's with Jeff Dye. Shout out hilarities and Nick, great club, and. Half the people there are Italian. Like, Nick's like a fucking the owner's like a half-made guy. And they all think I'm Italian, and I don't correct them because they're all Italian. I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah. I'm whatever you want me to be.
That's smart play.
Whatever, dude.
Well, you can do a whole bit on that. Martin Urbano?
I heard the name. I don't know him personally.
He does like a funny bit about like I saw it years ago in New York. It was like his JFL audition, and I think he ended up doing it on Kimmel. But it was so great because it was like, clap it up. I'm butchering it, but something like, if you think I'm Spanish, clap it up. And then he's like, if you think I'm this Italian, and like he was like, it was like such a great reveal and everyone was like, well, what are you? Like
nice crowd interaction.
Yeah,
it was fun.
It was fun, and I feel like you could have. I mean, that's actually like a blessing to have the like ambiguity, but also I could see why you're like annoyed that people don't.
Well, because it's not true. I mean, if it was 20 years ago, I'd definitely say I was white. Yeah. But that's not because that'll get me booked. But now it doesn't help.
I know it's so hard. I feel for you guys.
I mean, look, it has its goods and its bads, but I think. I kind of feel like it is finally starting to get like people are just getting tired of it.
The pendulum is
it's just so boring. How many times are you gonna have the same conversation? Like oh, you're bad because you're white. It's like, all right, what do you do? And what? Like if you keep blasting white people, it's still not solving the problem. So I don't see black people's income going up anymore in the last 2 years because of the Black Lives Matter movement. It hasn't helped to get out of poverty, hasn't fixed the crime rate in the cities. It just makes people angry at each other. It's not constructive.
Damn. Yeah. I have some family members who have that same belief. I liked the Black Lives Matter movement because it was something that I actually was like, yeah, I stand behind. Yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I say they matter? And
but that's the thing. It's so obvious.
It's so obvious. I know,
it's
but
so obvious.
But it's like it needed. I felt like at the George Floyd's and stuff that was needed, and I still stand by the movement and saying. But I also haven't done like a lot of research to see like where like what's the current status or where things are going or anything like that.
My issue with it is all of the non-people of color who are just patting themselves in the back so hard for, I support the movement, I support the movement. Yeah. It's like, all right, as you should. Yeah,
what do you want to participate in? Trophy?
I don't like, what's the opposite? I don't like black people. You're an asshole. Like, of course you have to be for equality. Like, you know, like it seems so obvious to me, but that's my real problem with it is like, it's always like the 25-year-old liberal white chick with green hair who's like, I'm all about black people.
Ruining everything. Yeah.
Well, I've been saying that for years. I mean, it really somehow women, particularly white women, like got a pass and all this. Like, they're somehow still a minority because I'm a woman. It's like, you know that most of the population of I think it's like 52-48 women to men.
No, but it's not.
So like you're the super majority.
No, but that's not it, though. I mean, we are not paid as much, and we are still like degraded and objectified and raped more common and assaulted more. Like there are statistics that show. I mean, we have the pink tax. Like we're definitely
What's the pink tax?
The pink tax is like our hygienic products will cost more than yours just because they know if they upsell to women will pay more to have like this that's branding behind a deodorant, which
that's every fucking not just your feminine hygiene products, all women's products, because you shop more. They're gouging you.
I know, but that's like really messed up too. That like we end up feeling shamed as the society ends up shaming us to feel and look and fit into a certain box, which is why like eating disorders and self-harm and suicide rates are on the rise for women because they keep putting in this small little box. And it's like,
but when you say society, I think you're right. Society does that, but society is also made up of women. Women objectify women, I think, a lot more than men. Cosmo is a women's magazine written for women by women, and that's where you get the body image problems.
But not just
women tease other women on social media.
Oh yeah, no,
like women are horrible to women. No, but I think overall men might treat women better than other women treat women. Women are really nasty to each other.
No, I know, but that's because we're like trained and conditioned to think like only one can be at the table, and like we're like at many points it's like things are boys clubby, like businesses are boys clubs, passion, sports, stand up is a boys club. So it's like a lot of women feel threatened if there's only one woman in this lineup. I have to be the funniest one. I can't be nice to this one because she's my complete immediate direct threat competition.
But you don't think men feel that with the other 5 men on the fucking lineup? The pressure that we're under?
No, I do think if women can wrap their heads around the insecurity of being the only woman on the lineup and find a way to be supportive and empower themselves to feel like I could stand out more and this is actually my benefit to being the only woman in the lineup. But I think because of what you just said about the woman attacking women, it's more of like a scarcity mindset. So I do think a lot of women don't go into those lineups or shows feeling supported and empowered. They feel like really nervous to like be the first to bring up something feminine and have like the whole crowd like roll their eyes, or like there's so much like, I know men get a lot of hate, but like I've just recently noticed with like these reels I'm telling you that are like getting a lot of attention. Like one of my reels has just 300 comments of not one positive comment, but I don't mind because they're all making me money. Them attacking, telling me I should go back to the kitchen, I should make a sandwich, I suck, I'd only be funny if I took off my clothes.
Who are these monsters?
Oh my God, I could pull it up.
Really?
Yeah, oh my God. I had a guy DM me going, you were the worst thing to happen to women since women. There's emoji, incels are writing things like that have like woman coffee emoji, like roll their eyes, like woman chatting. Like there's a whole movement around guys that attack women for thinking they could be funny. They all call me, oh, she's another hacky Amy Schumer type. Like Amy Schumer gets attacked all the time. And I mean, so I get your point about, there's like a lot of hatred on women, but that's because we're conditioned to believe that only one could withstand. And that's why on these boardroom CEO panels, they're all men and one woman. And so it's because women are so mean to one another, they don't support and raise others because they're looking at direct competition.
I like that you brought that up because that's a point that I make about it too, that the idea that it's not just men who are doing it, who are sort of keeping women. It's not like men sit in a room together and say, "How do we keep these women down?" It's everyone in society. Like I bet if there's a crowd of people, 50-50 men, women, you're going to identify with all those women right away, and they should be supportive. Right. But sometimes they might not be.
Or they feel threatened by you or intimidated. Or they go, she has what I always wanted to have.
Yeah, and I think a large part of the reason why there's not as many women in comedy, one, it is a choice. Like, this is the only profession I've ever been in where you don't have to get hired to do it. So there's an open mic, you sign up. And if you pick up an open mic sheet like the Middle East, and there's 50 names on it, it's not going to be 50-50 men or women because a lot of women don't want to do it. Nothing's keeping them out. But there's no guy out there saying women can't come. But there is, I think, just the idea that, like, if there's a room full of 30 guys and you're the only woman, you feel unsafe and uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It's unspoken. Like if I walked into like a black nightclub, I might feel a little awkward because I'm the only white guy there. None of them told me I couldn't go there.
Right.
But it's just off-putting. So I don't think there's anything now currently actually stopping women in terms of like the laws.
It's in your head.
There's no guys, but it's more that. It's more like there's not anyone like me here, so I feel uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, it's getting in your own way. It's self-sabotaging. And I mean, I'll tell you personally, I've been doing this for a decade now, and all throughout New York, all throughout LA and Boston, all over, I tour the country. I can't tell you how many open mics or shows I've done where I get up on stage and it is just me and all guys watching me. And every time before, I mean, now I have a better grasp on it because I'm more confident, I'm more established and experienced in my career. But in the earlier days, I would go, Janelle, don't make it about who's in the audience. Just go up there and just do your set. But I couldn't help but throw the whole script away or the whole new idea in my head away that was like a nice, well-written comedic bit I wanted to work out in what we call the gym for comedians, the open mic. I would immediately have to comment on, oh man, I'm the only girl in here. Hey guys. I was like, all of a sudden was I trying to be sexy? Was I trying to be funny? Was I feeling scared? Did I actually admit I was scared? Because it's an odd feeling having 30 men just stare at you.
You see that? I saw that a lot in Boston with young black comics because it's such a white city.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They have to address the fact that they're the only black person in the room, but that becomes a trope in and of itself.
And then it sets you off on the wrong foot, right? Because then you're trying to dig yourself out a hole, and then all of a sudden they go, what the fuck? We're just sitting here.
Oh, what a hack. Enough with that. Yeah.
And they might be thinking positive thoughts. And they go, oh, she's funny. But because I personally feel uncomfortable and I call out all you guys, then you guys don't like me off the bat. So then it creates this cold shoulder complex. It's like this whole, symbiotic relationship. It's not really focused on the craft of it. It's more on do I actually feel safe? I have never had 30 men staring at me. What are they looking at? What are they thinking? It sucks. And
that's a big unspoken part of it too. I was talking with Adam Richmond about that.
Yeah.
There is a safety issue, right? It's a job at night, right?
Yeah.
If you go on the road, it's mostly male comics who are headliners when you're starting out. So if you're opening for somebody, you're traveling with an older man who you don't really might not really know well.
I hope he's a good guy.
Yeah, and you're walking back from the comedy club at 2 a.m. There is that safety issue that men don't have to deal with.
And also, for me, when else are you talking about your sex life on stage? Like, I'm a really specific brand. I talk openly about every part of my sex life.
Balls.
Right. But that doesn't mean I want you to pin me against the car and fucking bend me over. Yeah. I might come across as I am like an Amy Schumer inspired comic, a Nikki Glaser type, if you will, which I really love. I love to talk about and push the envelope on.
But you're also talking about what's going on in your life. I mean, that's what I do. People are like, oh, you're
but
dirty.
I mean, I'm inspired.
People are like, you're dirty. I'm like, no, I'm just talking about what's going on.
It's also just my type of humor.
Yeah.
I love dirty, dark humor, and I always have been, which is why I look up to certain types. But I mean, notice I'm not saying like someone like Ellen DeGeneres. Like I respect cleaner comedy.
Yeah, she's a lesbian. Exactly. And you aren't.
Yeah. But and I also sometimes feel like, oh no, am I giving the wrong impression? Like I've had couples say like, oh, we really loved your set and like dote on me after. Then they DM me later that night going, you want to have a threesome? I'm like, no, that's not what and it's because I did a joke about a threesome.
And it's never the couple you want to fuck. It never is, right?
I started just bringing my boyfriend to shows and things, and I feel better. And he helped me notice something. Like I got to open for Jeff Ross in November, 5 shows in Charlotte, one of my favorite weekends ever.
Comedy Zone?
Yeah.
Nice.
Best time. Every show was sold out. He was a complete.
He's a great guy.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Big pothead. Love smoking weed with the guy.
I now have like this. Yeah, I have this like bond with him that I saw him the other night at the Comedy Store, and I'm like, Jeff, we're hugging, and I'm like, this is so like, what is this life? Like I was so happy, and But after, and I was emceeing, and I had I was the only comic in the lineup. It was Court McCowan featured. I emceed, and Jeff headlined 5 shows one weekend. Thank you. And I was so excited. I did great. I made sure I was like going to be fucking killer for Jeff, right? And it's so funny. I didn't even notice, like, after my set and after the show ended, and I'd go up there to be like, all right, guys, get up for Jeff. If you want to come buy his merch, I'll be helping him, taking photos and stuff, like just helping him like push his merch, get people, because he meets with everyone, whether you buy his merch or not, like Angel. Yeah. Every person he sits there and meets.
I think that's big. I think that's a fucking part of the job. I think it's weird when comics don't do that.
Lots of comics I've been on the road with will charge for it and won't won't do the meet and greet unless you pay extra, and that weeds out a lot of people.
Yeah, but see,
So
that's
he'll
the thing.
meet
I feel like
everybody.
that's part. I feel like that's.
But it's every
unless you're doing
different
unless you're doing
personality type. Some people
yeah,
get drained.
it's true. But if you're doing theaters, I get it because it's too many people. But if you're doing a regular 300 average club, 300 seats, and you're selling merch,
I see both
sit out there and
sides,
fucking shake a hand.
But I see both sides because like you have to be a real pro. Like that is a lot. That means we showed up at 5 o'clock or showed up at 6 o'clock. We didn't wrap both shows on both nights till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, well, maybe
because it takes an hour to meet everyone.
But I also might have a skewed view because I travel with Jeff, who also is childless and unmarried, who also has a drinking problem. Who we were glad to party with the crowd after the show because we don't know anyone in fucking Cleveland.
I would be too.
So like, yeah, let's go. Everyone, all 300 people, let's go to the bar and get fucked up.
I would be too.
I don't pay for drinks the whole night. I drink. I probably get
that's
more in
nice.
drinks than I do for my spots. I definitely do. You know, like a feature spot is like $100,
I'm with you
$150.
too.
I'm easily drinking $300 worth of liquor a night.
I'm with you too. Like, actually, do you remember the first time we did a gig together in Laugh Boston? Do you remember those comics bought us like tequila shots after?
Mm-hmm.
It was like you, me, and Matt Brown and Michael Nochi.
Michael Nochi.
But my whole point with Jeff, my whole point, where was I going? Oh, after my set, and I did not even notice this, Randy. After my set, like really nice dudes would come over and they'd go, "Hey, great set," and they'd grab the small of my back. They'd rub my back. Oh yeah, they'd hug me. One guy, after he shook Jeff's hand and kind of did the cool handshake with Jeff, came over. He was a war vet who had only one leg. He was an interesting dude.
Oh, Hopalong Cassidy.
He goes, "Can I have a hug?" I'm like, "Sure." Yeah. Gave me a kiss on the cheek. I was like, "Whatever." My boyfriend's like, and he's so cool. My boyfriend like hangs back. He's like, "Babe, I don't care about any of it, but do you realize how much they come up to you and touch you?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe because I'm just like, I'm the hostess with the mostest. Like, I like to be approachable." But he's like, "Just be aware of it." So now when I do shows when he's on the road, when he's not with me, like in Chicago, I kind of held my own. Like when some dude came over to me, like they all very touchy, and I'm just like, "Yeah, thanks." And it's like a thing that I don't think a lot of male, because he's like, they don't do this to Jeff. They don't do. So
it's different. They do it to you, but it's usually like a fucking 50-year-old married woman you wouldn't touch.
Oh, so you get it the other way.
I'll get goosed by an older lady. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so, and not even my boyfriend noticed it though. Even the guy, the audience member next to me was like, "Oh, he had his hands on your shoulders for a long time. You want me to beat him up?" I'm like, No, it's all good.
Okay.
Because I don't know what to really necessarily say in those moments. Like they just come over and approach me. And I'm like, "Oh, great, I gained a new fan." Like, as long as they're not crossing a line for me, like, you can touch my back or my shoulders, but it is a funny slippery slope.
It's hard to determine where the line is being crossed.
Especially when there's alcohol and people are drunk and it's late at night.
And you're distracted. There's 300 people you're talking to.
And you're in a new city and you're just excited to be, like, running the show with one of your, like, heroes and stand-up. So you're like, "Oh, interesting." So that's just something that he brought to my attention. But, like, yeah. So, but you're right. You're bringing a good point. I have male comic friends that are like, "Janelle, like, I've had women come over, grab my dick." I'm like, "What?" Like, I never imagined it.
It's always older ladies that are married or divorced. Yeah,
they're out there.
It's never the girl you want to bang at the show. It's always her mom.
Do you find audience members out there that are like that? You're like, "Oh, I'm into her."
When I'm not seeing somebody, I have in the past and will in the future hook up.
I have a couple times. It feels kind of fun, but
it depends. It depends, though.
They're kind of annoying about that. You're gonna put me in your act. I'm like, "Shut up and just keep fucking me."
I never talk. I never do that for them. But I would never fucking cop to that. But it depends on the situation and the person. It's funny. The older I get, the pickier I get. There'll be a really hot girl, but she's a pain in my ass. I just can't,
She's a pain in my ass. How is she a pain in your ass?
If she's fucking stupid or like, or she thinks, he's funny, so let me, try and be funny and knock him down a peg.
Like
you're just being rude.
Wait, I didn't know that also happened to you. I thought that was a guy thing and not to sound sexist.
No, I think it's a comedy thing. I think other people who aren't funny try and fucking be funny by knocking you down.
Yeah. Isn't that called? It's called negging. Negging. That happens to me too. And it will happen to me, especially if the girlfriend or the wife really like is relating to my comedy. She comes running over, "Oh my God." And then the boyfriend like feels almost like outdated or like he's pushed aside or irrelevant. He goes like, "Oh, I could be funny too." And I'm just like, "Dude, just be normal. Just be chill. We don't want to do bits. We're off stage."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you and I
tell me a joke. It's like, no, man, we're talking now.
We're hanging. But you know how some comics like stay on like the mysterious aloof? Like I feel like you and I are similar where we're like, we want to drink, we want to like unload, have fun, blow off steam. We'll hang, but don't fucking try to bit me after a set.
Oh, yeah, not only do
Don't bit me.
I never. When I'm not on stage, I don't run bits.
Right.
I don't do it.
So I can't believe that happens to you too. I was thinking it was just like a guy thing because I'm like, because guys also tend to be like, want to be the funny one and things like I've also dated guys that are like, "Oh, you're funnier than me," and like then they stop talking to me.
I was going to ask you about that because in a weird way, the fact that you're getting so much male attention after a show bodes well because it would. You trying to get that out of there?
Shit, sorry.
Fingering herself on the podcast. No, but
put
like
it down here. This is what I look like. Just that tight.
And that color too. It's the same color.
This is how it should be done. Boys, catch on. These are the lessons.
Yeah, you got to make a come hither motion.
Yes.
Like that, right?
Wait, how'd you know about that?
Because I'm 40 and I fucked a lot of chicks.
Oh my God. Come hither.
I've been fingering girls since I was 13. I had a lot of experience.
There's pubes in here. I can't believe it.
They're probably yours. You did put it down by your snatch a minute ago.
13. You've been fingering since 13. Wow.
Oh, whatever. Well, yeah.
What's your best finger blast story?
My best finger blast story.
Wait, I want to go back to your other question.
Well, no, what I wanted to say was...
I'm like, is this my podcast?
Because I was going to ask... It's fine. I love getting asked questions. I'm usually the one driving. I'll take a break.
You're driving or you're not driving?
Driving the podcast.
Oh, fuck.
I like the there's that whole trope that men are intimidated by female comedians or funny women, but the fact that you're getting so much male attention would belie that and say... And say
vocab words.
You all right? You like that? I got a $300,000 education. Might as well use it.
SAT.
It might belie the fact that like that might be coming to an end because guys are now getting more turned on and more into women that are funny. And I don't know if you've seen that, but do you think? Because maybe I'm biased because I hang out with all comedians, but I'm not intimidated by a funny woman. I like a funny woman. I like a woman with a sense of humor.
But that's because you're a funny, confident man who's following his life passion.
That's probably
if you were I say closeted, not like closeted sexually, but if you were like career closeted and you were like, I fucking hate my day job, and then you meet this chick who's seemingly, whether she's broke or not, she's making her dreams come true, and you know she's on a path, and she's like happy and pretty well adjusted because she's following her dream, and she's funny, and you feel just as funny as her, but you're not having the balls, the courage to go after what you want.
To live the life you want.
You will first put her on a pedestal, and then you will slowly but surely chip away.
Resent her.
Yes. And you'll chip away at her confidence and self-worth to make yourself feel better. And I've been in those relationships and they fucking suck. And it doesn't just hit you. You don't even become aware of it. Your friends or family will tell you like, oh, he's kind of putting you down a lot. And like he used to like put you on a pedestal, but then he realizes, oh, she's getting more attention than I am. Oh. And then you were like, oh shit, he's jealous. Not even that. A
little therapy session, I see.
I've lived it. That's why you asked the question. I've lived it. It sucks. When you date someone who's very unhappy doing what they do day in and day out, and they have the capability to be funny and to go after what they want, but they're not living that life, they will silently, slowly hate you for it and get envious, and they'll belittle you because they cannot wrap around someone living the life that they want to live.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And actually staying on that, because I read something, and apparently this is true. As you're growing up in your adolescence, men attempt humor 6 times more than the average woman.
Yeah. And
I was like, all right, I'm trying to figure out like, because they always say men are funnier than women. It's like no, they attempt it more. I get that, so they have more more at bats. So they're gonna get more practice. But I'm like, why is that? I'm trying to think like. I know plenty of funny women. Girls with my personal life. My sister's hilarious.
I was gonna say, I'm sure Dominican family. I'm sure your
mom,
sister, cousin.
My sister's hilarious. She's not even fucking.
The funniest people I always say like don't even do stand up.
Yeah, the funny person I know is not a stand up.
Yeah. But then you hang out with them.
Person.
Yeah, you hang out with them and you're like, oh my god, you're the best. So people don't realize that like it takes so much more than just being funny. It takes like a lot of fucking courage and persistence.
And I think what it is you're right. It's the courage part. I think what it is, men attempt humor more often than women. Because we have physical consequences if people don't like us. It's a defense mechanism, right? If to not get picked on, you have to be funny. To get a woman's attention, if you're not the star athlete, you have to be funny. Whereas women, because we're guys and we're stupid, all we value is your looks.
Initially.
So you could be dumb as shit and mute and not funny at all, and we'll still give you a pass. Whereas guys need it to survive other men and get the attention of other women. Whereas women, to get a guy's attention, as long as you're cute, a guy will give you 5 minutes
and go through puberty.
Yeah.
But I love this.
I think that's why, and I'm not sure. I mean, it's a theory. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's all valid. All plays into itself. I'll also give you my take on why I think that's true. It's like I do believe like history repeats itself, and like unfortunately, like we learn from what we see. And I say unfortunately because in the case of like the gender dynamics, like what do you see growing up? We see Johnny Carson, we see Jay Leno, we see Conan O'Brien. has there ever been a late night talk show host on one of the major 4 cable? No.
There still isn't.
And we had Chelsea Lately, which was incredible for a long time.
But that wasn't network.
I know.
There's never been a network show that hosted by a woman at night.
That's why Mindy Kaling had that movie that went all the way to Sundance with what's her face? That incredible British actress. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Which is crazy. You would think a fucking talk show. Women are great at talking. Why wouldn't they host these shows?
Well, because it all goes back to it all goes back to the historic times of like there's still so much that needs to be done. Like look at freaking Marvelous Miss Maisel. That's such a successful show because it's based in reality. Like she literally her along with like Lenny Bruce got arrested for like using crude words on stage, and like at a certain point, if we really go back, we weren't allowed to own property or to go to certain establishments or to vote. So it's like there's no surprise that we are not feeling empowered or encouraged to take swings at being funny, because just like women aren't really encouraged to take swings at being like gutsy on like skateboards or like BMXers, because we don't see those examples in real life. That's why there's no female president. And there is, you know what I'm saying? Because
there's also the thing that, and this actually works out to women's benefit in the long run, right? That's why women don't go to war. Nobody wants to see a woman shot in combat or harmed. Like there's that protective aspect to it too. But
that's sweet. And a lot of women don't want, and some of those same men, I'm sorry, don't want to see those women also trying to be funny. Like, they want to see them in a certain
they coddle them as delicate and put them in a glass case.
Or put them in a kitchen, make a sandwich. I have guys messaging me. I would love to pull up some of these messages if you wanted to laugh. It's insane how many men told me to go into a kitchen and make a sandwich. Like
Janelle, do you know I am an excellent cook and I love doing it?
Have me over. I'd love to come over.
Any woman I date, I don't let them cook because I like my cooking.
That's so nice. I mean, would you have me over as like a friend dinner?
Fuck yeah. And it's also a little selfish. I like the aspect of cooking. I hate washing dishes. So I'll cook if you do this. Oh yeah.
It's just I'll fly if you buy.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I'll drive. I'll do this on road trips. I'll drive down if you drive back.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna be fucking hungover driving back, but going down I'm gonna be jacked up ready to go.
Yeah, taking shots.
I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Like you fucking idiot.
Okay, that's fun. I would do a road trip with you. I would do like shows with you if you wanted to travel. I always get
Fuck yeah, I'd love to do that.
It'd be fun. But so I love that you ask these questions. I love that you're like open to hearing them versus I think also you are like,
well, because I'm always asking why. I want to.
But I feel like you're assuming you're giving men a lot of credit too. Because you're like in a certain place with your life and your career where you respect women and you want to see them succeed. But like, do you realize how many men will say they feel that way but don't actually feel that way, or like don't have sisters or moms that care about like you must know about the incel community, right? Like is crazy to me that these guys exist, and I think that's a lot of the trolls I get the messages from.
I'm sure
because a lot of the sex.
Those are all the people who follow Andrew Tate and pay the $49.99 a month for his Hustlers University, which is just a scam.
Really?
Yeah, Jeff, you don't subscribe to that, do you?
No, I do not.
No, you're good.
But I do have a mother.
Good-looking, funny guy. I imagine you wouldn't be fucking around with that.
No.
But I love that you're like, well, why do they feel threatened? I love that you're trying, kind of almost have the benefit of the doubt or like the trust to be like, to you, it's like, no, it's a no-brainer, right? Like you want someone with a personality. You've outgrown the ability to just see a pretty woman. And unfortunately, so many men don't feel like in their formative years that they probably were given the support they needed to be secure with their own self, that they need to like put other people down to build themselves up. And they'll be hidden in these higher positions. You'll think, oh, they've outgrown that. They have a family and this, but they are really deeply fucked.
Yeah, but they also haven't probably been with an attractive woman to understand it's not always what you think it's cracked up to be, in the sense that the shit gets, like I said, if she's a bad person, you're going to hate her. Like I've dated plenty of hot women who I just didn't vibe with or who were actually bad people. And it's like, oh, that's not the only thing. You know, like,
let's talk about
it's not the only thing is how hot she is. Like,
I hope not, because let's talk about the fact that
I want to date a girl who I like talking to when I'm not fucking her. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to spend time with them when we're not having sex.
Yeah, I hope so, because I mean, the one thing we all have in common is we're all fucking aging. This is all temporary. Yeah. So yeah, please love the person underneath all that bullshit, because this is all temporary. Like we're not bringing any of this shit with us into our graves, into the fucking urn. Like, so yeah, love who they are underneath it, because that's what's gonna fucking shine when we're in our rocking chair. So like, I've always been someone who at least tries to like not judge based on looks, even though it's so hard not to, especially with like the apps and the swiping.
That is ruining women's dating life more than anything else.
It's
and men.
So hard.
There's so many incel men and so many unfulfilled women.
Especially when you live in LA or New York, where like you feel physically, proximately close to stars and celebs, but they're miles emotionally, physically, mentally away. But you think like, oh, I could get so and so. It's like you're living a fantasy, man. Like we all moved to this town to quite essentially be someone or hustle at our dreams. You need to find someone who's going to support you at the end of the day, not like look good as arm candy, because that's not going to fucking get you anywhere.
But also, I just think about it practically, Janelle. There's 24 hours in a day. Let's say you fuck a ton, 2 hours.
I have no libido right now because I'm on Alexa Pro, which sucks.
But
I have good sex, but it's like.
But think about it. 2 hours. Let's say you're fucking 2 hours.
I love you. Always think about things in time. You
2
always
hours
do this like
every day.
breakdown of time.
I'm a math guy. That's
yeah. Okay,
and
2 hours.
And now I spend all day in a fucking Excel spreadsheet.
So 2 hours of fucking.
2 hours of fucking a day.
Which is a good amount of fucking.
That's a ton of fucking.
A lot of foreplay.
That's a ton of fucking. You have 22 other hours to spend with this person.
Right.
I would hope you enjoy their company when you're not inside of them. You know, like that's.
You want someone that's like a partner, like I feel
that you
like
enjoy
that's
being around, that you want to go hang and do shit.
Yeah,
with.
like my gosh.
If you can't go to the grocery store
and have fun.
Yes. If you can't go to the grocery store with the person you're dating and have a good time, dump them. Dump them now. Dump them immediately.
Yes. No, it's so true. Someone else told me that too, and my boyfriend said that to me. He's like, I read that somewhere because we had the best time. Like, and I know I'm sounding all like goo goo gaga with him, but you know it's new and I'm excited because I've dealt with so many bad relationships. That's when you're in a good one, you're like, oh, I just want to like cherish just like a little plant, just keep nurturing it because there is such a stark difference from someone that you really do care about and that's like fun and easy and playful and supportive and just gets it, that loves your family, that loves what you do, that like actually is secure enough with themselves that they do want to see you succeed without ripping you down or going, you're not staying enough tension with me. Like, because on the flip side of it, there's also the women that get jealous too, right? I'm not just saying only men. And then they want all of your time. They get needy or things like that. And it's really, in our profession, it's really important to have someone who just gets it.
Yeah.
And I think above all else, to me, that's like a huge thing.
Could not agree more. Yeah. Could not agree more.
There you go.
Yeah, could not agree more.
Here's a good tell.
Drink to that. Can we do like a group drink?
Group drink. Well, he's got to run the board. I don't know if he can get up.
Come on over here. Yeah.
Peek your head in. There he is.
No, you have an interesting past. The engagement breakup.
Yeah,
we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
We had one of our exes last time.
That's
My
right.
ex listened.
Good.
He listened. He subscribed. He was like, "This is cool." I'm like, "I got you a new fan."
But I could talk about girls I'm dating in the past, and I could talk about women in general in the future, but it really is unfair. I mean, I have a microphone and a camera on me, and they can't defend themselves. Man, and I've dated many girls in between the entire time I did the podcast. I was, I'd say of the 6 years this is the sixth year that I've been doing this. Of the 6 years, I've probably been I've probably been in long-term committed relationships for 2.5 of them, and some version of single in between.
Yeah.
But I learned that on the first girl that I was dating when I started this podcast, I would talk about women in my relationship and stuff, and she was livid because she couldn't defend herself. I have the megaphone. It's my perspective, none of hers. I make her seem like a crazy person, this or that. So it's just not helpful to talk about that.
I wonder if I should take a page out of your book because you're the second male comic I've met who's
no,
really respectful. But
the other thing too is you could also. And I've done this. I don't do it on the podcast, but I do it on stage. You could ascribe things going on in your life to another relationship. You could say my ex.
Yeah.
There's some really fucking ignorant shit that I'll say that my father said, but I say my grandfather said it because it's more appropriate for a man of his age to say it than my father.
Funny. That's smart.
You have comedic and artistic license to move around. But
I feel like
I used to be on here with Chase, and he'd be like, what's going on with Michelle? My ex-girlfriend's name, and I'm like, oh, and I would like. Go on a fucking rant about what was going on with her, and she's like, "What the fuck was that?" Like,
really?
It's like I don't have a chance to respond to you. It's a one-sided argument, and I'm losing it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, well,
no,
Chase is there agreeing with you."
So. That's a fair point. I guess I'll say everything I do say about my boyfriend, it's like pretty complimentary.
Now that I've said that, let's talk about your boyfriend because I'm the host, and fuck my life. Let's get into yours.
I told him I was coming here, and I'm like, "You love Randy. You listened to it last time."
Oh,
He's like,
thanks.
"Oh yeah, that was
Shout
fun.
out, buddy.
Yeah.
So when you started dating, like right around the time we did the last one?
He came to my Wilbur show when I was opening for Brian Glowacki, who we both love.
Is that when you met him?
Yeah, he showed up he was at the Wilbur show. He saw me in Bumble I didn't swipe
That's right, because the last time you were here, you went to a live Bumble meetup.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what the fuck is that about?
Well,
the point of the dating app is to not meet up. It's to just swipe. Because I'll tell you right now, those dating apps are horseshit. They're in the business of keeping you on the app. They do not want you to find love. They want you on the fucking app.
I'm not saying anything because I may or may not have
I'm saying
an influencer deal with the dating app. So I'm like,
good. Well,
tossing that out.
One of my close friends was a very, very senior executive over at Hinge, and she's like, no, we want people to find love. And I'm like, how, you guys run out of fucking money.
The slogan for Hinge is the app designed to delete, right?
Yeah, that's why they wrote the slogan, because it's complete bullshit. The advertising is lying. If your product was any good, you wouldn't have to fucking advertise for it.
Well,
have you ever seen an ad for cocaine? No. I've never seen an ad for pussy, because word of mouth gets around. It's tremendous.
I have some pretty good pussy ads, I might add.
I've seen ads for Jesus. That's how you know that the church is struggling. They're trying to sell Jesus.
I will say that's true. The issue with why it's so addicting to be on those apps is they make it like a gaming mechanism.
It's called gamifying.
Addiction. Yeah, it's addiction.
I did that at my old company. You gamify the purchasing.
The dopamine hit. I mean, the swiping mechanism. They're brilliant about it. I mean, but I have positive things to say about Bumble because I met my boyfriend on Bumble, essentially.
Yeah, look, the last girl I dated, I met her on Bumble, and she was I was working in New York.
Cool.
Swiping, taking a shit at work.
This
is the girl I was dating when I first started comedy.
Yeah.
And I matched up with her, but I was living in Boston. I would fly down for work and then come back.
Right on. Yeah.
And it was great until I stopped working. Because she knew I'll see him when he's in New York during the week.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, maybe I'll come down there, maybe I'll go up to him. But once I got into comedy, she's like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, comedy. What are you doing tomorrow night? Comedy. Yeah, she's like, I feel like you're cheating on me with comedy. I'm like, no, I'm cheating on comedy with you.
Oh.
I was like, I'm taking time out of my passion to fucking go and take you out.
Yeah, be like, I'll see you Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have to be able to handle that. And that's the thing I meant about having a partner who just gets it.
Yeah, so is your boyfriend have a straight job? Like a regular job?
Yeah, he's a commercial real estate broker.
He's got bread. Nice.
He totally gets it. Like, his birthday is coming up, and I was like, hey, babe, I have a comedy fest I just got into, like the West End Comedy Fest in Atlanta. And I'm like, so birthday in Atlanta? Or he suggested, he's like, birthday in Atlanta, great, I'll be there. Like, so supportive. I have literally like 6 shows in 3 days during his birthday weekend. He's like, I literally like laid it down the law. I was like, I might want to sleep all day, do 3 spots at night. Like, I have no idea the mood I'll be in. And he's like, I don't care. I'm just happy to like spend the night with you. And I'm like, he's like, sweetheart. He came to he travels all over with me. He's going to come to Alaska with me for the comedy fest. Like,
was it a comedy fest in Alaska? Nice.
Yeah, I know. I kind of applied as like a joke. And when I got the email, I forgot I submitted, and I'm like, I'll fucking go. It's like free room and board, and my boyfriend can come. We get our free room, and we like some wilderness tour. Shout out to Alaska Before You Die Fest. I like hit up like John Ozale and some other comics that did it. I'm like, is this good? And they're like, yeah, it's so much fun. And I'm like, sweet. Like, it's like upscale like bar shows, but like the whole point of the fest is they design like a wilderness trip, and it's like,
I think I'm gonna do a run with Jeff in late March in Alaska.
Well, hit me up before you go, because I'm gonna share some fun like sightseeing
and
tips
it's what
or
you
whatever.
said, it's like bar gigs, but that's all they have out there.
Fucking have fun.
In Alaska, they
bar gigs, but like,
I didn't know this, but apparently in Alaska, their strip clubs, bars, and liquor stores are all the same place.
And
it's all one building, and you just gotta move around.
And tons of men. If you want to find
because they're all oil drillers and prospectors and shit.
You know Jamie Lissow? He's a comic that's really funny. He's from Alaska, and I got to open for him in Irvine like last summer, and he's telling me about Alaska, and I've never been, so I'm very pumped. And so I'm like, yeah, fucking you and Jeff go have fun. Like, I'm all about, that's the balance, right? Like, you want to do comedy, but you also want to like live your life and enjoy yourself. So if you can kill 2 birds, I'm for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would be the first 5 years I did, 3 years, 3.5 years before I started getting paid anything. It was I was paying out of my pocket, and I was more than happy. It was like every weekend was a vacation, you know, like
right.
And I told Jeff that when he asked me to go on the road. It's like, hey man, I'm trying to get you paid, and I'm like, can you get me time? He's like, yeah, that's all I care about. And he's like, really? And I'm like, dude, if you told me, hey, let's go party in Dallas for 3 days, I'd be like, I'm down, because I wasn't working. He's like, oh, by the way, I got you 6 spots. I'd be like, tits, I'm not getting booked in Boston. I was an open micer. You know, like
yeah, you had a quick escalation, which is nice. You know how like so few comics will like think about it and they hold themselves back. Like, they'll only be driven by the money, and it's like you're really missing out on an entire exposure, an entire experience. Like, I'm like you too, where I'm like, just give me the experience. And
I
have
like being
fun.
on the road. People can.
And Jeff seems really cool.
He's the best.
Like,
I hear fucking old road dogs complain about it. Oh, I gotta go back out to fucking St. Louis this weekend. It's like that's the job, man. Like that's the highlight of my weekend.
But they're probably so tired. They've been doing it for 20 years. Like old.
My fucking wet dream is to be doing this for 30 years.
But touring.
Yes, I want to do 40. I want to do 40 weekends a year. I want to do 40.
Okay.
I don't want to stop.
My goal is to sell my. I am developing a show right now. I want to sell the show.
Like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's like a dramedy. I'll tell you about it later. It's exciting. I think it has legs. But like my goal is to like be some sort of hybrid where it's like I have a home base. I don't need to tour all the time. I'm running a show, starring in the show. I mean, this is the dream, right? And then kind of like an Amy Schumer model. So I always like look up to her because it's like when she had Inside Amy Schumer, but still toured a little. And then but I love to tour too. But I like how like the hotels can be like so expensive now, and I really want like a nice one. And if they don't cover the hotel, that's tricky.
You lose money on that.
That's tricky.
But that's funny. I like the Bill Burr model. I want to do 40 weekends a year in my podcast, and I don't give a shit about the rest of it. Dude. I could give a fuck if I'm ever on TV.
Dude,
I mean, I'd like it if I could get the money and if it was a role that worked out. But I want to do this, and I want to be on the road, and I want sell my merch.
I took my dad.
With Tim Dillon, that kind of thing. I don't want to be. I don't want to be beholden to a network because the shit I say is going to get me fired.
Yeah.
And look, and that's actually a great plus for women, right? Like, you can get away with saying the same shit I could get that I might not be able to because, like, oh, it's a woman's sake. It's like new and edgy. But it's like me. It's like, oh, look at this old pervert.
Okay, that's an interesting point. I hear you on that, but I'll have to say I want to like throw this back to you. I do think I might have more leeway in like a network suits room, right? Where like a bunch of suits.
Yeah, there's enough white guys on TV.
But I think you'll get a better response with that same material on stage than I will. Because I've done shows where like I will do.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Guys
Get
more laughs with the same edgy material that women do. I think. Yeah. Because it's a little bit more comfortable.
You're right. Unless
not all the time. That's a big generalization.
Unless you're drawing an audience that's predominantly women that wouldn't be put off by a woman saying such things.
Yeah, I won't say all the time.
Because it's like locker room talk. Like it's expected out of me. Yeah. It's a little jarring coming out of you. More jarring.
Only because I've actually like seen it on paper. I've seen it like in New York, especially like some dude would get up and kind of pull the Burt Kreischer move before it even was a Burt move. Take his shirt off. He's on guitar. He's doing anal jokes, and I go up. I'm like, oh great, it's an anal friendly crowd. He's crushing.
A guitar? You mean a crutch?
Fucking poser.
Improve your writing and drop the guitar.
Just kill him.
Yeah, leave it to Bo Burnham with the music. Everyone else.
Bo.
Yeah,
Bo's perfect. And I didn't know he was like doing directing. I watched what's his face, Gerard Carmichael. And that was beautiful. That the one that won and Bo directed that. All to say though, and I went up and did my anal bit and I got like crickets and I'm like, what the fuck? You just did anal? I have a fucking anal bit? Whatever. But moral of the story, cherish your testes. They are your besties. I love anal. No. Slide in my DMs with your dick pic. No. Ball pics.
Ball pics.
Hairy or not hairy.
Maybe that's the angle I could take on OnlyFans. Just balls. Only balls.
And take a Sharpie and like color little smiley faces on them. Like make them do things. Make them shake for your mama. Make them work for it. Make them do the hula.
That would be great. If it's not even a photo of my face, no dick at all. Just balls.
Just balls.
With no context.
That should be the name of our new handle, you and me. Just let's talk every week for an hour about balls. Just balls. At just balls. It can't be taken. Wait, but back to Bill Burr. I took my dad for his birthday last summer to see Bill Burr at Fenway.
Oh, sick.
It was so fun. But let me tell you, it is hard to do stand-up. And that's the first time any comic has done Fenway. Dan Cook got offered to do it, but turned it down way back in the day when he was like on his meteoric rise.
You know?
And so I wanted to just let you know that.
Oh my God, Jeff.
I'm just going to drink this out of the bottle.
Yeah, go for it.
No. I want to say love Bill, big fan of Bill, and Tony V opened for him, which I love.
Tony V's the best.
I know. And I got to know him from Portsmouth. I was doing some shows at Jim McHugh's room in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I had him on the podcast back when I was taping this in my apartment in
Who,
Beacon Hill.
Jim or Tony?
Tony.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. He's got like a son like in his 20s who's like, I think recently moved here actually to do.
Well, he was smart. You know what he did with his comedy money? Legendarily, the Boston comics didn't pay taxes and just did a bunch of coke in the 80s.
They had it
made. He paid his taxes, and what little nest egg he had, he bought a fucking house, like a multifamily house in Charlestown. Yeah, so now
Charlestown is worth so much now.
Yeah.
And so
but it was like,
Somerville.
oh, it was a shithole back then.
Somerville used to be called Slummerville.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like so up and I mean, it's Boston's super expensive now. You saw it's like right underneath like San Fran and I think New York. But yeah, so I saw him at Fenway and I had a blast. I had a great time. But like, it is weird seeing stand up in a fucking.
It's not meant for it.
It's not meant for it. But he still collected like $2 million and walked with that.
Of course.
But
Easily.
I was like, is it really like what I'd want to do? Like Fenway. I mean, I wonder how Gabriel
Iglesias.
Yeah, I wonder how he felt during like because he did Dodgers, right?
Well, he felt great because he slept on a bed of money. But but Jeff Dye. We talked about this when I first went on the road with him, and I don't want to step on his idea, but I do love it. He's like, obviously I want to move up the chain and start doing, theaters and arenas and then stadiums. He's like, but wouldn't it be great if instead of doing that, I just kept raising my ticket prices instead of, we'll call it an evening with Jeff Dye. So for like $300, 300 people get to go see him at Laugh Boston, even though he could fill an arena. Yeah, even though he can fill an arena. It's like, so I book out the whole fucking place.
You get to the diehards that want to drop.
Yeah, and I'll drink with them after. So I'll do the show, and then they party with me at the club. I'm like, I love that idea.
That sounds great. Yeah. I mean, it's really what you prioritize, right? Like, just back to your point about you don't. So
every ticket's a VIP ticket, and that's the only way you get in.
That's such a cool point. Yeah, and you make them feel special, and that's necessarily in that perspective. You're not caring about I've done theaters. You're just like, I'm getting some nice cash and having a nice
Jeff,
night.
like I do, he likes to meet and greet after. He likes to interact with the audience. He's like, I enjoy that part. He's like, I don't want to do a theater and then go hide in the fucking green room and get taken out of the back exit.
Also, theaters don't feel as intimate.
You've done a theater. I haven't done a theater yet.
Yeah. I
actually just had my first show in December, which is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, where? That's amazing.
Congratulations,
buddy.
Thank you. Shout out to Katrina Barrett and the local group Real Estate.
That's amazing. I'm happy for you.
I've was featuring for Jeff in Arizona.
Yeah.
Friends of his had come to the show and seen me a few times. One of them owns a very successful real estate company, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to do our Christmas party this year?" And I'm like, "I haven't done a corporate. Do I have to be clean?" She's like, No. You say whatever you want. Just don't talk about politics. I'm like, "Don't." I have no jokes.
You're
about
like
politics. Done. Yeah. So she goes, I don't know what your budget is, but I'll offer you this, and it was fucking way more than I would have charged her. So I was like, oh yeah, fine. So how are we gonna do this? Like, you want me to come to your office? Are you gonna rent a catering hall or a restaurant? She goes, no. We had Jeff a couple of years ago before COVID, and it was like at a venue that wasn't suitable for it. So I'm just gonna rent out the Tempe Improv, and I'm gonna invite all my employees, their spouses, and some clients. There was 300 people at the Tempe Improv. I had a host, a feature. It was a fucking regular show, and I got paid way more than I usually get paid.
That's amazing.
Which is funny because I didn't know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't think I had the time to headline because I'd been doing 20s and 30 minutes, but I was like, can I do an hour, 45 an hour?
You crushed it, huh? I'm sure it felt.
And it was easier than I had more time than I thought. I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize.
That's always.
Which is probably why I wasn't asking for headline spots around at B and C rooms because I was like, I don't have the time. I'm not gonna. I have the time.
Now you should ask for all of them.
Yeah.
That's always the case. Like. That I find where like we underestimate what we have, and then you look at it, you're like, when it's like that whole thing of leveling up. Like when you're given the opportunity, you're like, oh, I'll rise to, and you're like, oh, this actually wasn't such a big stretch after all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's it looks like a mountain till you step off. It looks like a fucking cliff, and then you step off a curb. It's not very far. You're going with it.
That's cool. That's so great.
So the boyfriend. So how much younger is he than you now? This is the most ADD fucking. I took an Adderall today too, and I'm fucking all over the place. You bring it out of me.
Do you think I have ADD? For sure, right?
For sure. I think most comics have ADD. Just like
I've been
listening to this fucking conversation for 45 minutes.
I think he has ADD, but you have just AD.
Wait, what does that mean? I don't even know.
What D did you drop? Attention disorder or attention deficit?
Attention is like.
That part is your decision.
Yeah, but you pick the D you want.
We let you pick the D.
Good one, Jeff.
Jeff is great.
I like it. I'm gonna do this podcast next month.
Are you a comic too?
I'm not a comic, but I work a lot with comedians.
He sits in here all day listening to this bullshit.
All right, well, I'm a fan.
I'm a goober.
I'm a given fan. Goober. I love a goober.
So how much? So getting back to your relatively new boyfriend, how long? How much of an age difference is there?
8 years.
So you're 31?
33. I
Oh,
thought you were a
shit.
math guy. He's 20. You forgot.
Well, I forgot his age. I forgot his age.
Yeah, he's 25.
Has there been any conflict in that gap?
No, actually.
Like, does he get all your references? Do you get like weird looks? Like what, is it?
Oh no, he did ask me. He goes, you like comedy? Do you know who Sarah Silverman is? I was like,
Do you know Sarah Silverman?
are you kidding me? Do I know? I immediately sent a photo of him of her and I, because I've met her a couple times. Of course, I love her.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like me saying you work in real estate. Do you know who Donald Trump is? Like, are you? Or like you? Oh! I heard you like sex. Do you know what the clitoris is? Like, I'm like, what a dumb question. But I was like, give him a break. He's almost 10 years younger than you. I'm like, yes, I know who Sarah Silverman is. Turns out his boss is first cousins with her. So I was like, hey-o, like that's cool. But
the reason I ask is because obviously it's more typical for a guy to date a younger girl.
Chick. I know, it's very atypical. He's an old soul.
And the society has their own views of that might be more acceptable than an older woman dating a younger guy.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a guy. My mother's dating a guy my age, married to a guy my age.
Shut. Yeah. We need to unpack that. We got to later.
Wait a
Next
minute,
episode. Let's unpack it.
You'll be here for a month. I'll have you back on. I don't run out of words, but
I don't think I do either. I hate these granny panty look vibes. What's happening? I'm hotter,
bunching
I'm hotter
up?
than what this camera's showing me.
What always happens is my socks get all fucked up.
Yeah, what's going on here?
But when you,
it's like I have a fupa. I don't. At least if you're gonna show a fupa, let me just put my vagina.
Yeah, put the
here.
vagina back. Put the pink wet spot there.
The pink spot. Okay, sorry.
Do you find, because most women are attracted to men who are older? That's more typical. So is there like a weird thing with that? Like what about it? Because like I said, usually women like older men, like because men are so much more immature than women.
Yeah, I think this is just a case of like.
I think it might be that you're the immature one. Because as a comedian, that makes a lot of sense. This is the way I describe it, Randy, that I think you might appreciate. He's so stable and secure with himself that if we were the same age, hypothetically, and I had met him when we were both like 33, the age I am now, he would have been like married with 2 kids. And I'd be like, oh, dang, what a sweet, I would have met him in the airport and he'd be like, my wife. And I'd be like, oh, heartbreak, Yeah.
Or if I'd met him when I was, say we're the same age again, I'd met him in like 21, 22, 23, a few years below that he is now, I would have been like, oh, what a nice, secure, stable man, and went running for the hills. So like, for sure, like I'm like pretty financially responsible, like professionally mature, but like emotionally, I definitely took a long time to get to a place where I learned not to get all sappy, to learn to like love myself and believe that I'm worthy of like true, real love, because I'm a product of a
working
nasty.
on that.
Yeah, I love that. It's a lifelong journey, and when you're a product
It's a daily battle.
And when you're a product of a like nasty divorce at a formative age, like that kind of lingers. You don't always trust, and you don't always. I was a commitment phobe for a long time, and he's the first guy to kind of break down my walls and be like a secure, stable, constant like source of love, not to get too cheesy or like vulnerable. And he's just been like everything I've ever kind of wanted. So yes, I'm definitely a little immature for my age, but mostly because I like to be like fun and playful and youthful, and like we do this for a living. So like most of my friends are like married with kids, and I'm like going to the bar for like my 3rd show. Like, yeah, we are a little bit younger, but also he keeps up with me. And also like I have dated the older guys that what I was alluding to earlier, that seem to kind of want to like compete with me or like cut me down a few.
Oh yeah, they want to sort of establish their dominance.
Exactly. And I feel like with him, I think when you're younger dating up with women, that is, you need to be really secure, because she's immediately going to have more life experience than you. She's immediately going to be able to teach you things that you don't know because of life experience. And let's be honest, if she has almost 10 years more than you on this earth, she might be a little bit more emotionally or financially secure. So you have to be really secure in yourself to be able to be an equal with that person. And so I've noticed that like he is all those things. He's super secure in all those things. And so he immediately like respects me, admires me in ways that like my past partners have not. So I felt like with him like at ease and kind of safe to kind of say my like deepest, darkest fears and shit. And he sticks around. So
you haven't run him off yet. Good for him. Good for you and good for him.
I know. So yeah, that's my long of it. Thanks for asking. I'm sorry if that got too
No, it's
like,
fine. That's what I wanted to try and figure out.
Or like,
no. There's nothing too real for this podcast. All right, let's do some quick news stories before we drive fucking Jeff crazy. He's another podcast coming in.
We have fun talking. Or he seems happy. He said no. This is why I was like, Randy, gotta come back. Dude,
I love having another podcast. It's so much fun
to chat with you, and just like I feel like forget we're on air.
Now that we talked about how healthy your current relationship is, from the New York Post, top reasons your partner might break up with you according to a study. A poll of 2,000 adults found over half, 65%, ended a relationship because of the ick. A trait that turns them off. And 88% have completely ghosted someone over it.
Oh.
So apparently, that's the number one reason, the ick. Have you ever,
No. What? Like,
I feel like cheating. I feel like cheating is the number one reason you break up with somebody.
That's like fundamentally a thing. Wait, what? Do they give examples? What's this ick? Like chewing with your mouth open, or like keeping your socks on in bed? Like, what's the example?
Yeah. So it just has a ranking of the top ones. It says, it goes on to say, nearly a sixth of men, 15%, called it quits with a romantic interest because they were obsessed with the star signs. The woman, I can see that.
That's funny. That is funny.
14% have ended a relationship with someone because they clapped when the plane landed. I would 100% dump that bitch.
Funny. I'm gonna clap for that.
Yeah, now they're clapping when the plane takes off. Fucking airlines are so bad. An eighth of men broke it off with someone who wanted to share food on the first date. I'll tell you.
First date sharing food. I mean, unless he offers, I would take it. I'd be like, sure, I'll try it.
No, women have a thing with that. If I order food, like,
yeah,
the waitress will come over, she'll order what she wants. I'll order what I want. She's like, oh, yours looks better, and pick at it. I'm like, just order your own fries. We can have two orders of fries. I have fry money. You know,
fry money. You sound like my brother. My brother, my whole life. You always are eating my food. Like, it's like, it looks. I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged. It's annoying. I know it's annoying, but I still do it. You're right. I think because women don't feel like they can splurge and order like a fattening thing, but they go, "Oh, you're eating it."
Nope. I straighten it out with girls I'm dating
Good.
right quick.
Good.
Oh, you like it? Order your own. I'll buy you your own. I ordered this plate. I want to eat everything on the plate.
You're not
you can have some while your order's coming, but if I order something and you eat half my shit,
at least you let her pick while hers is coming. And
yes.
then will you be like, now I want some of yours now that yours has arrived? So
that's
out the playing field.
Well, no, that's another thing I do. If I don't group order on purpose, but
I know group ordering stresses me out too.
I will pick 3 things I like on the menu and rank them, and then of course, I let the woman order first. If she orders the entree that I wanted first, I'll pick my second pick because I could try.
Because you'll know.
You'll
know she'll pick.
We'll have both on the table.
Yeah, just go halfsies.
Yeah. But the picking of the fries, get your own fucking cheese fries.
Yeah.
You know, like I have $9 for more French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ick.
Well, with women, it's never about the money. They're always like, oh, my waistline. And I'm one of them.
I know.
I'm the worst.
But also, 88% broke up because they got the ick. Wouldn't you get the ick when you met the motherfucker?
But I think if you're getting the ick, like, don't you think there's something behind that? Like, it's not just that one thing.
Well,
like, they're probably bad in bed or like.
It must be because you met them, you found them attractive enough to go on to have a relationship.
Yeah, but we talked about earlier, it's not just attraction.
Yeah, but they're in a relationship. These people broke up after a relationship.
Yeah.
So there must be something.
But I feel like
they must have like some new political view, or all of a sudden they kick dogs or something.
Maybe they see someone hotter at their workworkplace, or maybe they're like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. I think I think the ick is fucking code word from fucking somebody else.
Have you cheated ever?
In my life, yeah. Of course. Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Jeff, right? I mean, like.
Yeah.
I know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. No, but I mean.
We're all young. You're fucking high school, college. You tell me.
I'm in my 30s now, but it was definitely in my 20s.
If you went to college, you didn't cheat. Did you really go to college?
No, I'm just like drunk and like laughing now. I'm just like.
Of course, I'm not proud of it.
I know. Wait, did you cheat recently? Have you?
No.
So are you like against cheating?
No,
I'm against it now.
You're against it
because I have been cheated on.
Yes, no. I don't like people cheating, but I understand it happens.
Yeah, but would you ever cheat nowadays?
I wouldn't. No. Why would
I wouldn't. No.
Yeah. Do you guys think the people that cheat are like really insecure because they want to have their cake and eat it too, and it's like a work?
No,
thing?
It depends on their experience.
It depends. Sometimes
it really depends.
Look, it's never just an accident, but sometimes a situation presents itself that never would otherwise, right? Like if all of a sudden some fucking NFL athlete's hitting on you after a show and you're hammered, you can get carried away.
I wouldn't, but yeah,
someone can get carried away.
Yeah.
But
cheating, I think, is so lazy and hurtful.
No, well, I think about it selfishly. The anxiety attached to it.
But I mean, it's like just end things with that person. That's the laziness I'm saying, and the selfishness, and like the hurtful thing of like, my parents' marriage ended because of cheating. So I'm like,
but that's the other thing too. The definition of cheating also varies, right? Like I've, recently in the last few years, I've dated girls who thought we were exclusive. But we never had the sit down to make it. And she's like, "Oh, you're seeing somebody else?"
How did they find out?
And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't know this was exclusive."
And they say you're cheating on me.
Yeah, I was like, "Well, I didn't know we were an item." You know, like
because you never had the talk. They assume.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. You have to have the fucking sit down.
Oh yeah,
and you both have to say this is the thing.
So isn't that also an issue with women? And I've
the assumption.
The assumption.
Because I don't assume. That's why I never. If I'm dating around.
Yeah.
I assume she is too.
Oh, okay.
So
unless you mention,
so I don't ask her. You know.
Yeah.
Unless we have the sit down, then I have the right to know. If I ask, are you seeing somebody else?
Yeah.
But if I don't ask that question, it's none of my fucking business. You know, that's
what do you think? What do you guys think about like emotional affairs? I think that's like the new thing people talk about. Is like, we
all have an emotional affair.
Everyone
wishes they had a different life. Yes,
yeah,
right.
There's a big thing between emotional affairs and then having intent. If you have intent on actually cheating, then absolutely that is cheating. If you actually go forth with it, but there's no intention, that may be something a little different, but it also depends on that person's life experience and where the relationship is at. But the assumption, I mean, with someone with a mother and 2 sisters, I mean, hey, you got to have that sit down. And you can't ever assume anything. Yeah. And it's most definitely communication is the most important thing to any relationship, not just boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever that you are. Yeah. It's just all about that. Once ever you have that sit down and know that on both parties, I mean, nothing's a one-way street. It's a two-way street.
That's right. And you have to define,
you have to have that. And then once that is completely out in the open and clear, then that's selfish. That's bad. Yeah. That's hurtful.
Have you guys been
there's also hang on a second, Jeff.
So a little bit. So I cheated like in my early 20s. You know, it was like early college, like whatever, somewhat high school, like early college kind of bullshit or whatever. But then later on, I actually got cheated on by an older woman. So I was dating a woman that was 10 years older than me. Turns out she was married. So,
of course, yeah. Married people cheat. Married people fuck around a lot.
Yeah. So what you were saying earlier was like, they teach you about financial dependency and all these other things. Yes, that's true. But the thing that a lot of women actually, I mean, I'm not trying to say like I know what women.
We can say all women on my podcast. I don't give a fuck. I make broad statements here.
I'm just saying. So anyway, so basically like, oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. But women, it's all about the communication. That's really what
financial dependency and all those things. They teach you those things.
An older woman cheated on you.
Yeah, well, married women do fuck around a lot or whatever. But once you've done cheating and then once you've been cheated on, that was whenever I was like, okay, once you know how that actually feels, then from when I'm 37, so
you look
now
great. You look better than me. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, bro. So like we grew up in the same neighborhood, man. And so so you know, like once that's been a two-way street for you and your own feelings or whatever, like nowadays, like I'm completely like I'm all about the communication. Like within like 3 months of dating like somebody, it's like, okay, this is kind of where we're at. You know, what do you think?
And if we don't have to sit down, I
3 months,
continue on.
It's a probational period. And for me, like you got to give that person 4 seasons. Yeah. You know, to really kind of call yourself serious.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm somebody that's been cheated on. I've been stalked. I have filed restraining orders.
Jesus.
Like once again, everybody has their own life experience. Everybody's got different parents. Everybody's got different things. Like it's all
true.
It's all a thing. It's all a thing. That's why you never assume anything.
I don't know if I've ever been cheated on because I've never asked and I've never caught them and I don't. And now that it's over, I don't care.
Okay,
but
that's good though. But you hadn't had the hurt of.
I'm sure I have.
Really?
Because I mean, people are shit. Human beings are fundamentally flawed. We're not.
But
perfect.
I always assume the best.
No, I assume people are trash because I know what goes on in my head. I assume everyone's like me and.
You're not trash.
Well, no,
you're not trash. So I
use.
You're not trash.
I think we're flawed.
But that's what makes us human.
I know, but that's
our brains work in these ways.
But I don't describe. I don't think we're good. I don't think we're good or bad. I don't think we're good or bad. We're just human.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you have to have this sit down and conversation. And that's also why in that cheating conversation, you have to find out what your partner is comfortable with and what they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're comedians, right? People are going to come up to us.
DMs.
It's flirting. DMs, especially for women. Guys, less so. Flooded. But if a girl's flirting with me, is that going to bother you? Can I shake the hand of a woman after a show who enjoyed my comedy? Right? Because I dated Puerto Rican girls, and they were pretty jealous. You know, like,
really?
Oh yeah, you couldn't even fucking look. They wouldn't have you look at some other girl.
I couldn't deal with
that. But then I've dated girls who were strippers. You know. I didn't give a shit about that, but some of my friends are like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine another man. I'm like, that's her fucking job, dude.
You're like, hey, she's taking her money home.
Yeah, that's how she pays her fucking rent.
But then is she tired when she comes home to not want to?
No, she doesn't fuck him. She's not a whore.
No, but
it's a balance. It's all.
I like how that was very chauvinistic of you to assume that a stripper was a whore.
Hey. First of all, for the record, Ready Set Blow podcast, I've only been in like 1 or 2 strip clubs. I don't entirely know how they work. I know that they do lap dance.
Some of those girls do turn tricks, but my girlfriend doesn't. Or my ex-girlfriend didn't.
They do the hand jobs. Am I wrong? Like, I thought that there was some level. I'm just asking, aren't they tired of being like on display, of like being like objectified? I would think that when they come home, they'd want to just sleep and not have to be like half naked being sexy.
Which was great because I just become a
comedian.
Tired. I would just become a comedian when I was dating a stripper, and she would get home. She would get home before I got home, so we'd both sleep in late and fuck in the morning.
I'm not trying to be against that. Like, I fucking took pole dancing class. I think it's like empowering and cool. I'm also just wondering, like, would it, because I'm such a fucking head case.
Hang on. The reason I say that, Janelle, is because if I would be more upset if my significant other was seeking attention from a guy, because that's what leads to sex.
Well,
right?
that's what I'm saying. That's the emotional affair I talked
right.
about.
So that's more That's more impactful than, if some girl, I think that if some girl jumped on me after a show and gave me a kiss at the meet and greet and ran away, like but that might piss off a woman, So it depends on where your boundaries are, and I do believe, at least for me personally, knowing that a woman's attracted to me is 9/10 of what I need from any sort of cheating experience. Like I don't need to actually sleep with a woman to get my rocks off. Like, I could. That's enough for me. 9/10. Like I don't like the sex is perfunctory.
Ooh, what does that mean?
It means it's just a process. It's
Lifeline.
Like knowing I can, right? So knowing that your girlfriend or your significant other, your man, still wants you and chooses you is what's important to me.
Yeah. I actually kind of think it's hot.
That's why I didn't mind. That's why she's stripping for money for these guys. She didn't like these big fat slobs who came in. She just was doing it for money and then would come home. I cooked. She'd go. I come home after her from comedy. She'd pass out. I'd pass out. I'd get up, make breakfast, and we'd have sex and have a good day. Like, it'd be fine.
That's sweet. It's also like comedy. I always joke about is like a form of stripping, but it's just emotional.
Oh, we're total whores. Yeah. Comedians are total prostitutes.
We are stripping emotionally as like an onion to like take off our layers for you. Like, here's my trauma, serving up with a fun little joke. Do you like it? Like, and I'll say this too. Like, maybe I'm the only one in this, but there's definitely other women out there and men that might feel the same way. If I'm out with my boyfriend or I hear stories where like he gets hit on, which I do, I'm like, hell yeah, he's coming back to me. Like I get excited about that. I get turned on. I'll even be like, tell me stories about you and your ex or people. And he's like,
so you like getting cucked out. That's different.
Because you know what? I like the competitive nature of like, I got him, he's mine. And I like to know, I want a boyfriend who's like appealing to others. I like that he's a charming, nice guy.
I agree with that.
As long as I know he's faithful to me.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't want to hear about someone I'm dating fucking somebody else.
He doesn't want to hear about me.
It's none of my business.
And that's the same. I think it's a guy-girl thing.
That's why I never ask a girl her number. He's the
same way.
You were born the day I met you. I don't want to know anything else. Keep it from me.
He's the same way.
Ignorance is bliss.
Wait, he's the same way, and I'm always like, "Tell me your number." He's like, "Why do you care?" I'm like, "Well, here's my." He's like, "I don't want to know it." I'm like, "I want to know yours."
But that's the other thing too.
Is that a woman-man thing?
No, I think it's an individual.
Yeah.
Because some guys like being cucked out, some girls like it too.
I'm into cuck, huh?
Maybe.
I'm into the cuck, but I wouldn't actually do it.
No, yeah.
Or maybe would I? I
don't know.
I
don't know. We'll see.
No, I'd be too afraid because I'd be like, "You're mine." I'd be like, "Don't go see her big tits. I have little A's."
But
I'd be like, I've got this little, like, love me for me. There can't be girls with bigger boobs than me.
I don't want someone who's needy.
Look at his little baby titties.
I don't want someone who's needy. Marvin Gaye said it best. I want you, but I want you to want me too. I don't.
Get it, Marvin.
Yeah, I want you to choose me because I'm still the best option. And I want to earn that. And so should you.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Right. And some people do.
Yeah.
Some people do. But then the other thing too is like I agree with you that I've had friends who are like that, super jealous. Just growing up, it's always the Latin guys. Don't look at my woman. Don't look at your woman. Then you got an ugly bitch, son. You be like I want every guy to stare at my girl because she better be the hottest girl in the room.
But also, isn't just looking like part of being
That's
human?
nothing. Like, don't touch her.
Unless you
you masturbate to her. Just don't touch her. Touch yourself. Don't touch her.
But also, like, I don't know. I'm a super affectionate person by nature. I'm Italian. I'm not Dominican. But it's like, don't
Dominicans
look at
are
her.
affectionate too. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, what do you mean don't look at her? Can't we just all be part of this human experience together? Like, you want me to, like, not, like, relate to her? Like,
I don't have a problem with people touching girls I'm dating. If they grab her ass, it's a different story.
Right. And I want my friends to, like, love my partner and be like, oh, he's so great. And, like, I want them to think he's cute. I don't want to be like, oh, that gross guy. Keep him away from me. Like, hug him, be a part of it.
And women especially want a desirable man.
Yeah. Wait, why especially? I would love to hear this.
Why? Because it's genetic, right? I mean, it goes back to anthropology, going back years.
Yeah.
If a guy is of low status, why would you want him? You want to,
You also want, so going way back.
40% of men are responsible for every person on this planet. So that means 60% of guys aren't reproducing. Women go for the best option, whereas men will fuck anything they can.
But with that cool same fact you said about the primitive like thing, men have a similar thing where it's like, I remember reading about this. Men want to date a woman and impregnate a woman subconsciously that looks healthy, that has like curves.
Yes.
And if unfortunately a lot of women like starve themselves, the anorexia, the bulimia, they're not going to attract certain men because subconsciously you might not know why you're not attracted to her, but you're like, I can't impregnate her. I can't implant her because she's unhealthy. She's malnourished.
There's a hips to waist ratio that's.
But I also am a skinny bitch, but I eat well. I just have good genetics, so I'm like, don't rule me out. Zoom in on the fupa, Jeff. Zoom in on the fupa. What's going on here? Zoom in here.
I'll do it in post. I'll do it in post.
No, don't actually. Oh my god. Wait, I had a lot of guys on my reels being like, "Why are you wearing grandma jeans? You're not hot." And I'm like, "Fuck
Mom
you."
jeans.
Grandma jeans. What is
People
that,
are
dude?
so mean.
Everyone's getting Brazilian butt lifts, and now they're wearing boyfriend jeans. What the fuck?
Because you feel hot.
I'm gonna get a big fat ass and then cover it up.
You feel cute because you're like, "Oh, I'm a cute little girl, like baggy, comfy, like." Okay, because it's like
You like Oliver Twist. I'm not trying to fuck a 12-year-old boy.
No, but they're just. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's comfortable.
Okay.
It's like, look how baggy these are. That is.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying, Janelle, is
You wear a cute little top.
the Brazilian butt lift is very popular surgery right now, and then boyfriend jeans are popular.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I'm gonna get a fat ass and then cover it up. The fuck is that?
Yeah, but you see it in a bathing suit. I can't believe. I thought Kim Kardashian's body was natural. I did not know that was surgical.
What are you, retarded?
I'm very naive.
In what world?
I'm very naive.
Oh yeah,
and I'm very trusting.
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you.
And Caitlyn Jenner's a real man.
Wait.
Or natural man. I don't know.
No, but Randy, I'm being serious with you. Like, I know it sounds so dumb. I had to do research. Like, I
had to do research?
No.
I'm trying to avoid the Kardashians on the internet, and she's looking them up.
No, because I will tell you this. I feel really smart in many ways, and then I feel incredibly dumb in other ways. It's like one or the other, one aspect from the other. There are things I cannot believe I don't know. And the Kardashians being one of them, I truly couldn't believe. I said to my friend, oh, how does her body look that way? They're like, Janelle, it's a fucking surgery. And I'm like, oh, that she just like was blessed with this hourglass figure.
Oh my God, you're so lucky. Somehow you blocked out the most annoying part of fucking mass media.
No, then I learned about it, and now all I'm getting is targeted Kardashian ads.
You search them once,
do
and now
one
you're the fucking
search,
best.
and they're like haunting me. They're in my dreams, like fuck. It's crazy. It's crazy being in my
They
brain.
don't deserve to be Googled.
That's right.
Anyway.
We've run long,
I know, it's been
but we've
fun.
been drinking, having a good time. Janelle, what do you got coming up? What do you want to promote?
Oh, I'm going to be at Sketchfest in San Francisco.
Sketchfest in San Fran,
Fuck
baby.
yeah.
This is coming out Wednesday. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is coming out
awesome.
Wednesday. This is coming
great.
Wednesday.
So yeah,
this next weekend.
Yes, come see. Oh no, the 26th to the 30th
Perfect.
of January, and then I'll be in Atlanta the first weekend of February, the 3rd to the 6th for the West End Comedy Fest. Otherwise, I have shows in LA next week. Just
Nice.
I'm doing your show.
That's right. Molly
Molly's.
Malone's every other Tuesday, the 17th and 31st this month.
I'm excited for that, and then I'm doing like flappers.
Don't be. It's a bar show. It's basically a Boston bar show that I fucking transplanted to LA. It's fun, but
it's fun to have spots.
No,
So
it's actually great. It's a great time. A lot of whiskey, a lot of new jokes. It's good.
I had
It's
like a
really
really
fun.
old friend come last time I did the show, and I hadn't seen him in years. It's like a good way to reconnect with people. He like walked there. He's like, I didn't know there was a show here.
It's just not the big Supernova comedy store or anything like
But
that.
fuck it,
Yeah.
come.
Come on.
Then I got like some other spots next week. I think I'm doing ponchos Monday.
Love ponchos. Shout out to Dan O'Carter. I gotta get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's
the best.
awesome. And then Thursday. I'm doing Sam Bilski's show in Glendale. Set Comedy next Thursday, and then I can't remember what else.
All right.
But
Well, I'll obviously tag you in all this, and I'll collab you on my podcast page because my page is not available right now.
That's crazy.
I know. Don't even
you
get
have
me
such a
started.
fun page.
Don't get me started. But
how do you get it back?
I'm working on it.
Okay, all right. Pray for Randy.
Yeah, but obviously, guys, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast. I'm so bad at doing this in the middle of the show. I always do it at the end. You probably already tuned out, but but I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram at Randy Valero at Ready Set Blow Podcast. The next road gigs I have, I'll be in Zanies on Rosemont at the Rosemont Room on February 16th, and then 17th and 18th I'll be in the downtown Zanies Chicago Room with Jeff Dye.
Love that.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
You're gonna have a blast.
Oh, I've been, and I'm going.
Oh,
back.
you've already done it. Okay, sorry. I just did it my first time November, and I was like, this is such a cool space.
Yeah, I know. I was going to try and stay longer, but I mean, maybe I will, because the Comedy Bar is another fun show on Sundays in Zanies. But yeah, that's my next road gig. Unless you're in LA, then come see me at Molly Malone's or here at the Third Wheel Podcast Studio every week. All right, guys. I love you guys. Check you next week. Peace.